And here we go. On this Monday, it is the 10th day of October 2022. Welcome to Real Talk Memphis, ladies and gentlemen. 6 o'clock straight up, feeling good. Everything is in good shape. Gang's all here. We are fired up and ready to go. Happy fall break. I know many of you are out there doing your thing and, maybe out of town. I know the kids are out of school, so that gives you license to get out and do your thing. Many folks are, out and about today. So congratulations. I hope that you enjoy your week, your time off, and that you are careful and safe wherever it is you go. And no, I'm not bitter. Well, I might be a little bitter. But you know what? If that was the case, I wouldn't be here with you. We are, of course, coming to you in a variety of ways. We are can be heard live right here on 91.7 WYXR. Can also be heard live on the TuneIn app and WYXR.org. All of those, things kind of help to connect us together. We are also going to be on Facebook Live. We'll post the show to YouTube sometime tomorrow. And as we are a podcast, you can catch us wherever it is you get your podcast. I think we cleared all that up, got all the debris out of the way. So you have absolutely no reason or excuse whatsoever not to connect with us, even if you're on fall break. You have a mobile device, right? You have a phone, right, that you're always using. So you should just put it on the station and just put the phone down and just chill out, relax, and enjoy us for the next hour. We have a really good show for you tonight. And I'll quickly outline the guest here. Many of you are familiar with a young lady by the name of Marybeth Conley. Well, she's only been a media icon, broadcast icon in this town for close to 30 years. And she is newly retired and hadn't been not too newly married. Well, newly married, as a matter of fact. There's a very interesting story that goes along with that. She and her husband, Rick, are going to be with us in a few minutes. And they're also going to talk about a new television project that they are launching, as well as tell us about their amazing love story. A little bit later on, Elizabeth Ennis. She is the Senior Development Manager for the American Cancer Society, is going to join us, as well as Matt Rich. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, here the month of October, and she's going to be talking about the race for the cure, and it's kind of the statistics and where things are. We always want to make sure that we acknowledge things like this because it is highly, highly, highly important, this Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And a little bit later on, folks are getting excited. Basketball season is pretty much here. I believe October 19th is the first official game of the season for your Memphis Grizzlies. And we have Jessica Benson, who's the host on Grind City Media. They do all things Grizz. She's the host of the Memphis Grizz and Grind City Media. And she's going to give us a preview as to what the boys look like this year. And I'm told they're looking really, really good. And I can't wait to get her insights as to what we can expect this 2022 season. But before we get too far into things, as we always do, it is the time when we celebrate you. What do we mean by that? Well, nobody does birthday shout-outs quite like Real Talk Memphis, if you hadn't noticed. And we like to celebrate your trip around the sun, but I can't do that until I say, hit it, Sel.
Happy birthday!
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to each and every one of you on this day. There's a lot to celebrate, so let's get to it. Quentin Monger, happy birthday to you. Daryl Donaldson is celebrating. Well, let me see. Let me try that again. Daryl Donaldson Smith is celebrating a birthday. Jeremy Franklin, happy birthday to you. Tiffany Smith celebrating today. Tony McBride, Andrew Withers. That's a name that most of us are familiar with around here. Happy birthday, sir. William Martin celebrating today. Robin Durham celebrating a birthday, as is Tracy Brown. Miguel Grandberry, Latoya Clark, Jacqueline Williams Humphrey, and save this one for last because she's someone that we know here very well at the radio station. Always volunteering, always supporting our shows. Christine Fox is celebrating her birthday today. So happy birthday to you and happy birthday to each and every one of you. We hope to be here next year to celebrate your next trip around the sun. Thank you, Sal. So in the news and notes, and I guess I want to get to this first things first. We had a couple of high-profile deaths this past week. Loretta Lynn died last week at the age of 90. Of course, country music icon, the coal miner's daughter, just an icon in the world of country music. She passed away at her home here in Tennessee at the age of 90. For those of you who are into gospel music, Keith Wonderboy Johnson died last week. Now, you may not know the name, but if you are familiar with gospel music, the song Let Go and Let God, that was his song, and that was a huge, huge hit on the gospel charts. He passed away a few days ago as well at the age of 50. And for a lot of folks here in the city, this one kind of hits home and it kind of hits hard. Pastor Willie Boyd Jr., pastor of Greenwood CME Church, died Saturday night in a one-car traffic accident, ran into a tree in Eads on Saturday night. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children, and of course an entire church congregation who is definitely in mourning at this particular passing. He was only 44 years old, and I think I heard that he was celebrating his birthday this weekend as well. So to each and every one, we say, we feel the loss, and we mourn your loss, and may your memories always be a blessing. In news and notes, MLGW CEO JT Young, his last day is Friday. And he is, of course, moving on and heading back to Florida, where he is from. That's his home. And he's going to go back there to work. Well, that's fine for him. So now who replaces him? The mayor selected current chief operating officer of the city of Memphis, Doug McGowan, to be his replacement as the new president of MLGW, and wanted to formally present that nomination and Doug's replacement as the COO at tomorrow's city council meeting. Not so fast, my friends. Councilman Martavius Jones, said he wasn't quite ready to do that. He said that I think that he thinks that the process should be a national search, not just pull somebody in and from right around the corner. He wants to do a national search like a national search was conducted when JT Young applied for the job and got the job. Upon hearing that news, the mayor said, "We're not doing a national search. I picked my man. I want this guy, and that's going to be the end of that." Well, it's not the end of that. He won't be on the ballot to be nominated tomorrow, so we'll see how this all plays out. A little city council drama, with the mayor. And let's see here. So last week, there was a big roar about controversy about the fact that a prisoner was killed at 201 Poplar. The families are not satisfied because they're not getting enough information about all of this. They have been trying to contact the local officials with no luck on that end. The TBI has stepped in now to take and spearhead this investigation in reference to the death of 33-year-old Gershon Freeman. He died while in custody of the sheriff's office after he was arrested on October 1st for attacking and threatening his girlfriend. So, a lot of questions as to what is happening, down in the jail. The sheriff has said that they are 300 officers light. They need 300 officers down at the corrections center to help to handle all of the inmates that they have on a daily basis. That's a lot of folks. So if you're looking for a job and you think you might want to deal with corrections, well, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office is absolutely hiring. The new DA, Steve Mulroy, and the new juvenile court judge, Tarek Sugarman, have asked the state to permit a blended sentencing program. You know, this is a big thing now. With these juveniles are committing these crimes so young, the juvenile court can only hold them till they're 19 years old, and then they have to let them go if they are not remanded to an upper division court. So they're trying to see if they can maybe develop a program, a blended program, where the juvenile court can keep them past the age of 19 to try to help to rehabilitate them and do other things in trying to bring down the number of these juveniles locked up in juvenile court, and more importantly, not passed along to the adult system, you know, when they're under the age of 18 years old. And want to try to make this a pilot program for the state of Tennessee. So we'll see what happens with that. Finally, it's flu season, ladies and gentlemen. Flu season is here. It is what is this, October now, and it generally goes to about March, give or take. Many of the doctors and the experts are saying that this could be a very rough flu season. So if you have not gotten your flu shot, you might want to, take a trip down to the health department or a pharmacy or wherever and get one. Now, they are definitely urging seniors to get their shot. Seniors classified as age 65 or older, they get a high dose of the flu vaccine this year because they are more susceptible to it. And there is also a conversation about the fact that we could see another COVID hit sometime around the end of the year, getting into, December, January. They're saying that what they're looking at maybe a strain that could be evading the current boosters that we have. But, when nobody's wearing a mask and nobody's protecting themselves and everybody's running around doing what they normally do, kids back in school spreading germs left and right, you're going to see a lot of folks getting sick. So just take care and heed the warnings, if you will. Protect yourself. Temperature's cooling down now. You ladies are getting out your fall attire and doing your thing. Even though we'll see 80-degree temperatures tomorrow and the next couple of days, things are going to eventually cool down, okay? All right. That is a quick look at news and notes on this Monday evening. I'm going to take my first break, and when we come back, we are going to talk to, I would consider, her an old friend to all of us who watched a little show called Live at 9 for many, many years on WREG. Marybeth Conley and her husband Rick Wood are going to join me for a nice little conversation. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. We will be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
WYXR supported by the Onstage at the Halloran Center season, presenting the Memphis Songwriter Series hosted by Mark Edgar Stewart. Mark and his musical guests take audiences on a journey behind the music, sharing personal stories and introducing new works. The next event is on Thursday, November 10th. For more information, visit orpheum-memphis.com.
Minglewood Hall presents Lucy Dacus on Friday, October 14th. Lucy Dacus is a musician, performer, and storyteller. Her most recent album, Home Video, was named a top 10 album of 2021 by NPR Music, USA Today, Rolling Stone, and the New York Times. For more information, visit minglewoodhallmemphis.com.
WYXR is supported by GPAC, presenting Joey Alexander on Saturday, October 15th. At the young age of 19, Joey Alexander has topped the Billboard Jazz Albums chart with multiple releases and now sets his sights to compose idiosyncratic original works. The composer's latest recordings are highly expressive, emotional, and sincere. More information at gpacweb.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this beautiful Monday evening in the city. And I got to tell you, I'm excited about this interview because for myself and many of us, the young lady that you all see has been a favorite in Memphis television for a long time, and everybody loves Marybeth Conley. But she joins us now along with her husband Rick Woodall, and they are going to talk about not only the amazing love story that brought them together after just a few years, and about a future television project they have coming out called Flip My Life. Marybeth and Rick, great to have you on the show tonight. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Chip. And I got to tell you, when you said young lady, Rick laughed. So I'm not so sure this marriage thing is going to work out.
Rick, you're learning, aren't you, guy? You're picking it up. I got you.
We met when we were 13, and we got married on the 50th anniversary of the day we met. So that tells you how young we are.
That's really wild and young at heart. And at that now. I know a little bit about that story. I think I don't know what it was. I think you were traveling somewhere, Marybeth, and your daughter was with you in the car. And I don't know how you ended up. I don't know how Rick ended up, on your mind. But can you share a little bit about how this journey began?
Absolutely. In 2018, we went home to my hometown where I grew up of Mascot, Tennessee. It's a small mining community about 20 miles northeast of Knoxville.
Okay.
So we were getting together there at my old home with my brothers and sisters. And my daughter is a caboose, as we used to call it. I had her when I was almost 45. So
wow.
She had never actually seen my home place because by the time she came along, my parents had moved to an assisted living. So I was just showing her around the old neighborhood one afternoon and showing her the high points. And we passed Rick's old house. He moved to Mascot in 1972, right before we started 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Navy brat, and I do emphasize brat.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be correct.
Okay, all right.
No, he was great. But we passed his old house, and, maybe it was because my daughter was 14 and I was, we met when we were 13, and throughout high school I had a crazy hard crush on him. So maybe it was that, and I just said to her, I used to walk around at night wishing this boy would come out because I had a big crush on him. But Chip, I don't remember even saying his name. And the next day we were going somewhere, and she said from the back seat, I found him, and he's so old. She likes telling that part. She looked him up on Facebook, and I guess she, in her little 14-year-old mind, thought she would see a cute 14-year-old boy. But of course, the years have been so kind to him, but he's no longer 14.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I did not feel any twinges or romantic thoughts. What I felt was curiosity, because back in 2018, we sort of, as a nation, started seeing this white nationalist mood, and people seemed to feel like it was okay suddenly to be outspoken racists, as opposed to behind closed doors racist.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's okay to, you know what I mean? It's not good to have it behind closed doors, but it seemed like a lot of people felt like it was okay. And the reason I contacted Rick was because in his profile picture, he was holding a tiny little black girl, and I saw love, and I think I was so troubled by the sort of nationalistic, negative talk about immigrants, just increased incidents of racial profiling by police. What I saw in that picture, I think, was hope, and I wanted to know who that little girl was and why he loved her. And that's why I reached out. You know, the reporter, Chip,
Yep.
as a reporter, you know,
Yep.
I figured I would just start this conversation with an old friend.
There you go.
We had not dated in the early days.
40 years.
Hadn't talked in 40 years. So it wasn't like it wasn't a romantic risk. My former husband and I were struggling, but we were working on it. So I didn't feel like it was a threat to that.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought I'll contact this old friend and work my way around to, so who is this little girl? Why do you love her? And in our first conversation, Rick told me I always had the biggest crush on you. And that was it. 2 weeks later.
Lights out, right? That was
we met.
that was it. So
I
Rick,
told my husband, I inadvertently opened a door I can't close.
there you
And
go.
5 weeks later, we bought a house in East Tennessee, and he's been renovating it ever since.
Lord, that is absolutely, and that's an amazing story. And Rick, first I want to know, tell me about the little girl.
That's what I was going to make sure. We always forget to mention. Her name is Fallon. I met her when she's just a little under 1 year old. My daughter is a teacher of hers.
Okay.
And I used to hold her from the time she was a baby, and we just became so close. She lives down in Chattanooga, so I travel down to see her. My daughter brings her up to see us.
Go on vacation.
We
with
go
her.
on vacations. She is a part of our family. My dad, I've got a picture of my dad holding her hand, taking her to get an ice cream cone.
Oh, that's sweet.
And she's 8 years old now.
Okay.
She was our flower girl at our wedding.
Oh, how cute.
Most beautiful, sweetest little girl there ever was, you know? So she stole my heart.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I can tell you that. She stole your heart, and then the one sitting right next to you there, she stole your heart.
She always had my heart. We just, she couldn't talk to me as an 8th grader, so I thought she didn't like me.
Mm-hmm.
But I did try to make advances.
I was so, Chip, you would never know. Everybody thinks I'm very outgoing, and I am outgoing, but I'm also shy,
Very
in a
shy.
way.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, as a teenager, I was painfully shy. So
This is, this is one of those sweet stories that you very rarely hear about. And I mean, it's just so wonderful to chronicle this with you. You know, Marybeth, you everybody around here loves you, and I mean, you have been a favorite for so long in this market, and you have retired from the local TV deal here, and you met the love of your life, but you guys are not quite done. At least you're not done with the TV aspect of things. And there's a little bit of a project you have going on called Flip My Life. Tell us a little bit about that.
First of all, I'm going to speak up because I don't get much speak time, but she allowed me to come down and fall in love with Memphis. So
Okay.
we will be doing all of this in Memphis.
Okay.
yeah, I had a meeting today, in fact, in Crossville, and the waitress was, "Oh, you've lived in Memphis?" And over in East Tennessee, all they hear is crime rate.
Yeah, I bet.
And I said, you don't know Memphis. And that's one of the reasons we want Flip My Life to be based in Memphis, because it's such a great town. And Memphians embraced me, this little girl from East Tennessee who didn't know anything about West Tennessee. And it will always be home for me. But it's interesting because Chip, this project we don't get any credit for coming up with it. It's 100% God's project, and I don't say that lightly because of the issues in my family, I was really struggling with being a public person where you always have to be happy and perky, no matter what's going on. You know that feeling. It's tough. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I reached for God in 2009. And I found such peace in that morning quiet time that in 2015, I said to God, I was really trying to get out of TV because I thought if I could get off of a public position, I wouldn't have to pretend all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I will do anything you want me to do, just show me, but please don't make it be TV. And he gave me the words, flip my life, in my prayer journal one morning, shortly after I made that, I surrendered. And it was an idea for a show where we'd take abandoned houses and renovate them for people trapped in generational poverty.
Oh, wow.
And I kept putting it off. For 3 years, I was like, I can't do this. I'm tired. And in 2018, it came back in my prayer time, big time. And it was God telling me, it's time to do Flip My Life, but the houses are supposed to go for people returning from prison. And I said, what? Because that was not an issue that had ever really driven me.
Mm-hmm.
But something about the idea fit. The problem was I had no money and I really didn't have any contacts that would be able to help me produce a TV show. What people don't know is that you know this because you've been in television journalism. It's different. Television journalism is not producing TV shows.
Very true.
And I never had networked because I never wanted to be in TV in the first place. So I told God, I have no contacts, I have no money, I don't know how to do this, but I will shoot a pilot if you will show me a contractor with whom I have chemistry who would care about the issue of reentry. You do that and we'll get started. And I thought that was the end of it. This was early March 2018.
Mm-hmm.
It was Memorial Day 2018 when my daughter and I were in Mascot. I told her about my crush. She found Rick. In August of 2018, I contacted Rick after wondering for 2 months who this little girl was. And in our first conversation, Rick told me he'd been a contractor since the early 90s. And in 2008, after the crash of the market, Rick had a day where he, in his words, lost his mind.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do?
This is where I get to speak.
Go ahead.
I was needing cash for some work, and I went into a bank, First Tennessee Bank, and with an unloaded BB gun and robbed First Tennessee Bank.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
And that, as you told me, helped
And
you evolve.
that did it. I saw all the white privilege involved, but I was sentenced to 42 months. I did 31, and I was in there with people that had a little bit of marijuana that were black and brown that got 20 years.
Mm.
And it made me sick it still makes me sick to my stomach to know that there are people in there for little,
Yeah.
I didn't get the time I should have gotten, I guess.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
when he got out, he never had to check a box because he'd never done anything wrong. So his family was supportive. His mom and dad let him live with them. His clients had waited. He had to rebuild his life, but he got right back to work. In fact, he was in prison with William Bedford, former Tiger.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So he was telling me all this in our first conversation. And it did not occur to me that just a few months prior, I had told God, I need a contractor with whom I have chemistry who would care about reentry.
Man, that's
10 days forward, we met in Nashville. That was when I realized I am not going to go to my deathbed knowing what I missed. I went home and I told my husband, it's time to stop working on this. I told him the story and he agreed, and we began official divorce proceedings. And the morning after I told him, in my prayer time, it was like God said, so 6 months ago, you told me you needed a contractor with whom you have chemistry who would care about reentry. What are you going to do now?
Yep.
That's why we're doing Flip My Life, because it can't be any more clear that God wants this done.
Well, listen.
And it's our hope that introducing people to folks who have done bad things, but who are redeeming their lives, they're holding themselves accountable, that we need to give them a second chance, and that a restorative criminal justice system helps the whole community. It's not just about helping the individual who, through a bad decision, is having a rough time. It's also about helping end recidivism. If we make them check a box and they can't get a job, they're going to go back to crime to support their life, right? If we don't help them get drug counseling or
Absolutely.
whatever led to their bad decision.
Absolutely.
So that's our hope.
Well, listen, you know, I have to run here, but I'm really taken by all of this, and God bless you both. And all I can say is look at God, you know, in terms of answering prayers. But we're gonna have to have you guys back once the show gets moving and things start to progress a little bit, and find out kind of where things are. But Marybeth,
We appreciate that.
Look, I appreciate you guys for taking some time. Marybeth and Rick, really wish you nothing but the best of luck. God bless you both, and we'll be talking down the road. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Chip.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it. We do
Thank
have a
you.
GoFundMe to help pay for production costs, so please check out my Facebook page.
There you go. Thank you, Marybeth. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rick. All right, what an interview, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk about, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're going to talk a little bit about that with someone from the American Cancer Society. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
WYXR supported by the Onstage at the Halloran Center season, presenting the Memphis Songwriter Series hosted by Mark Edgar Stewart. Mark and his musical guests take audiences on a journey behind the music, sharing personal stories and introducing new works. The next event is on Thursday, November 10th. For more information, visit orpheum-memphis.com.
This is Will Goodwin, co-founder at Crosstown Brewing Company. Just like WYXR, Crosstown Brewing supports Memphis music and our neighbors who use their talents to make it. Our beers can be found at our 3,000 square foot tap room right here at the Crosstown Concourse and at your favorite bars, restaurants, and stores throughout Tennessee, Mississippi, and eastern Arkansas. Enjoy.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to the show on this Monday evening. Chip with you, and we're going to talk a little bit about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which comes around every October. Of course, breast cancer kills so many of our ladies out there each and every year. They have research is continuing on eventually trying to cure folks of this situation. But I have someone here, a couple of folks here, as a matter of fact, who are going to talk to me a little bit about the situation of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and also Race for the Cure and some other things. Please welcome to the show Elizabeth Ennis. She is the Senior Development Manager for the American Cancer Society. And also joining us is Matt Rich. And the reason why Matt is with us is because he's going to talk about an effort to fundraise from the men. Males do get breast cancer as well. And he's involved in this to help to fundraise as well. Welcome, both of you, to Real Talk. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. So, Elizabeth, this is a big month, obviously, and in particular, for you folks at the American Cancer Society, and you're getting ready for Race for the Cure. But in terms of where we are, in terms of research and things like that, in terms of breast cancer, where do you think we are in terms of, getting a little bit closer to maybe trying to find a cure in terms of research and other things?
Yeah, absolutely. So it, like you said, it is a big month. We're actually getting ready for our walk, which is the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk.
You know what? I apologize. You're absolutely right. I apologize for that. Yeah.
No worries. And then, obviously Real Men Wear Pink is in full effect as well. But, right now the American Cancer Society is currently funding over $71 million in breast cancer research alone.
Wow.
Through 153 grants throughout the U.S., and a couple of those being here in Tennessee.
Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, that event, how long have you all been doing that? That's been going on for a while, has it not?
It has. This is actually our 22nd year here in Memphis.
Lord, that's a lot. And every year, it seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And there are so many people who want to be involved with this because, as you said, it touches everyone. I mean, whether it touches you personally or a family member or a friend. Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, really it's a movement, but it's our opportunity to host a awareness walk and invite out anyone and everyone that wants to be involved or has directly been impacted by breast cancer. We encourage everyone to come out, wear their pink, bring their friends and family, and just walk with us. And then obviously, hopefully, help us fundraise, because that's how we're able to continue to the work that we do through both our fundraising teams and individuals and our corporate partnerships and community partnerships. So it's a really fun opportunity to, like I said, bring out the family. It's actually coming up this Sunday, October 16th. We start out at Tiger Lane and walk through the Cooper Young neighborhood. But the event opens at 1:30. The walk starts at 3 o'clock, and we'll actually have some of our Real Men Wear Pink ambassadors of this year out there with us this year.
And speaking of that, when I talked to you initially, I wanted to have, a man involved if we could in terms of this interview, because a lot of people know where the focus is in terms of breast cancer is with females, but men get it too. There are cases of men that have that breast cancer. And Matt Rich is with us tonight as well. And Matt, you have decided that you want to help to fundraise for this fine and worthy cause in terms of making strides. Talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. So about 3 years ago, Elizabeth reached out and was saying, hey, we've got this, campaign that we've done for a few years now called Real Men Wear Pink.
That's right.
We'd love for you to join. And I think she came across me on LinkedIn. And my mom had actually just gone through breast cancer the month before. So about 2 months before she asked me, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And was able to go through remission. And by God's grace, she is actually breast cancer free.
Wonderful.
As it stands now.
Wonderful.
And so it was kind of an odd timing when she reached out and said, hey, we're doing this cool thing where you're going to wear pink all month. The goal is to raise $2,500. And I said, you know what, let's do it. But to touch on your question, when we jumped into it, I had no idea that males deal with breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
They're estimating about 300,000 people this year alone is going to be diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah.
2,700 of those are men. Well, you think about me being a man, that's the last thing you're worried about is breast cancer.
Sure.
And actually last year I had a great time meeting some of the guys, and one of the guys we met actually had breast cancer 3 separate times. So even though we may be thinking about prostate maybe when we're older, or hey, breast cancer is my mom. My mom's got to worry about that. I think being on top of that and knowing your body, it's going to help the men that are involved with this, because that's just one less thing that you have to worry about if you stay on top of it. And I think the ACS has done a good job to make sure people know that those men need to be aware of that. When
you talk about the campaign, the Real Men Wear Pink campaign, and you approach, men that friends, individuals, and whomever, are they instantly receptive because they know how important the overall cause of this is?
Yeah, I think so. I think, what y'all were speaking of earlier, I think everyone knows somebody who's been affected by cancer. You look at the numbers, 300,000 people this year are going to be diagnosed. That's a lot of people. More than likely, somebody who's in that number, whether it be a cousin, a mom, a dad. And I've worked with organizations to help fundraise this, and they really love the cause because at the end of the day, you probably know someone who's been affected by breast cancer. And just from last year to this year, two of my fundraisers that I kind of depend on, they actually have people in their immediate family who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. So it's out there. People are very aware of it, and they know when it comes October, I'm wearing that pink and I'm coming to knock on that office door. I'm coming to get that money. So
man, well, God bless you for that. And Elizabeth, talking about the numbers, the sheer number of individuals who will be diagnosed just this year alone, 300,000 people. That is an incredible amount of human beings, who are diagnosed with a very serious issue. And so it really is important for folks to galvanize. I've been to some of these events in the past, the Making Strides events. And you see a combination, you see the generations, you see family generations. I mean, see the grandmother, the daughter, and the kids and the grandkids and things like that. How heartwarming is it for you every year? Because there's a spirit out there that, we're going to fight this, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that other people don't get this disease that maybe we got, and things like that. How important is that?
Well, it's extremely important. And like Matt said, over 300,000, just to kind of break that number down for you, that's 1 in 8 women that will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. For men, obviously, it's a little bit lower. It's 1 in 833.
Yeah.
But like Matt said, just thinking about you being a part of, as a woman, me being part of, 1 in 8 women. Well, I can grab 9 girls right now and figure out, I could be one of those people that would be diagnosed. And so to think about it in that sense, you have to think about why we're doing what we do, why we, harp so much on funding research, why we really lean into access to care and making sure that these women's of all races and all communities and all incomes, are able to, get to their mammograms or get to their appointments and, really learn about that preventative care and that early detection. And that's exactly why we spread this information out and why we have these events and really just kind of bring as much attention to this cause as we possibly can.
Prevention and testing. And you named 2 biggies right there, prevention and testing. And that really is what we need to get people to really focus in on and pay attention to, don't we?
Absolutely. And, again, it's looking at, older women who are, in those ages to start getting their mammograms. Are they making sure that they go to those appointments? How can we help them get there? Making sure that we're eating right. And like Matt said, listening to our bodies. Even, the younger generation, we're funding this research so that we can fund the future and be able to find it even earlier, especially with the BRCA gene, with these young women, they'll be able to go in and find out, okay, I have this gene mutation. Here's what I'm susceptible to in the future, and how can I take care of myself to hopefully not be diagnosed down the road.
Well, Elizabeth Ennis and Matt Rich, we're talking about the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk event this weekend. Please go out and participate. Let's raise more money than we ever have. God bless you both for the work that you do on a daily basis to try to save so many lives out there. Really appreciate you coming on the show, and I hope that it's a smashing success this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. And, just to kind of follow up with that. So if you are interested in joining the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk on Sunday, it is a free walk. We encourage everybody to visit our website at makingstrideswalk.org/MemphisTN. And then the Real Men Wear Pink campaign, that is a separate campaign that kind of feeds into our Making Strides movement. So like Matt said, he's one of 36 guys in the Memphis area that are going out. They're wearing their pink. They're starting those conversations, and they're raising money, hoping to reach the goal of 225,000 this year. And so they'll be out at the walk too. So if you're interested in donating to their campaign, you can go to realmenwearpinkacs.org/MemphisTN to donate.
God, really, thank you both. And before I get out of here, Matt, you're absolutely 100% right. Real men do wear pink. So
I know I've got too many pink shirts, but I have to buy new ones every year. So I'm always glad to wear it. No problem.
There you go. Thank you both for coming on the show. I really appreciate you guys. Take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thanks, guys.
All right. We're going to have one final break. And when we come back, we're going to shift gears and talk about our favorite sports team, the Memphis Grizzlies, with somebody who knows a little bit about that. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from Focal Point. Located in Crosstown Concourse, Focal Point is a Southern College of Optometry clinical facility that offers fittings with designer eyewear and eco-friendly frames. Learn more at focalpointcrosstown.com.
WYXR is supported by the Orpheum Broadway season, presenting Pretty Woman the Musical, October 11th through the 16th. Pretty Woman the Musical is brought to the stage by lead producer Paula Wagner and features an original score by Brian Adams and Jim Valance. For more information, visit orpheum-memphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
All right. And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. And yeah, the town is abuzz, ladies and gentlemen, because the Memphis Grizzlies are about to get back into action. They had a public workout here. I don't know if it was yesterday or whenever it was, and people are still talking about the chemistry and the fun. So I wanted to find out from someone in the know about this basketball team, where we're going this year and how far we're going to take all of this. So I invited Miss Jessica Benson to the show. She is a part of the Grind City Media crew. She's a host of the Memphis Grizz and Grind City. And Jessica, great to have you on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me. Good time of year to do it.
Absolutely that. So you spend a lot of time talking about the Grizzlies and, interviewing members of the team and the coaches and everything. So what have you seen? The season starts when? October 19th? Did I get that?
Yep. Yeah, October 19th against the New York Knicks will be the season opener and the home opener right here at FedEx Forum.
Oh,
so
man.
really right around the corner.
Big night, big night. So how's the team looking in your eyes so far this year?
Yeah, they look good. And more importantly, you just mentioned the open practice that was held out at FedEx Forum over the weekend, where thousands of fans came out just to watch this team participate in an open practice, which I think just really identifies the vibe going into this year, which is high expectations, a whole lot of fun. You have a bona fide superstar now in Ja Morant, but it's not just about Ja Morant. This is a team that really embraces the entire team, and everyone coming back this year has one goal in mind, and that's to continue on with the success that they've seen the last couple of seasons. That success led them to the Western Conference semifinals last year. So the natural progression forward would be to make it to the NBA Finals. And this is a group that they really like each other. They have a lot of fun playing basketball. A lot of them coming out of last year said it was the most fun they've ever had playing the game of basketball. And now they're back trying to build on last year's success.
Chemistry is a word that a lot of people use, but it really does mean something when a team has a natural chemistry with each other. They support each other. They encourage each other. They play for each other. How important is that chemistry to a team's success, in your opinion?
It's huge. And, we often say the cliches of a lot of C words when it comes to chemistry and culture and cohesion and confidence, and how all of those things play a huge role in creating the identity of a team. And you see it with the Grizzlies. It's so fun to be a part of. And especially this time of year before the games start, where it's really just a matter of the preseason and first times hearing from certain teams. And there's a lot of drama around the NBA, whether it be in Los Angeles with the Lakers or everything going on with the Golden State Warriors right now. And here in Memphis, it's like nothing but good vibes, good times. Everyone's just ready to get back out there and play basketball. So when you don't have any of those like extracurriculars circling around the team, it makes it really easy to focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's going out and getting off to a good start this season.
Speaking to Jessica Benson from Grind City Media, and you know, you mentioned it, and the confidence that this team has, and there's a swagger to them in terms of what they did last year, and they won 56 games last year. Do you see them at least reaching that mark, or maybe even exceeding that mark? And where do you see them fitting in the top 8? You know, as you play for a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, the path is certainly there for them to have yet another tremendous season. The Western Conference, it feels like a broken record, saying it year after year. It's relocked, it's reloaded, it's going to be even better than it was last season. You have the Los Angeles Clippers, who are one of the deepest teams in the league, and they get Kawhi Leonard back.
Yeah.
You have the Denver Nuggets, who you're going to have the opportunity to see what Jamal Murray can do, linked up with two-time MVP Nikola Jokic. You get Michael Porter Jr. back in that mix as well. So there's two teams who were behind the Grizzlies last year who will certainly be in contention this time around. But I think you have to have a great load of confidence in this Grizzlies team. Even looking into the way their season ended, you lose to the eventual champions. You lost your superstar in the playoffs to injury. You never want to play the what if, what could have been game, but it's easy to get sucked into that, right? And so even going into this year, to have John Morant back at the helm, to have Desmond Bane, who took a tremendous leap in year 2, to see what that next leap forward looks like. How can he become an even better 3-level scorer? Dylan Brooks is back with his defense, with his tenacity, with that little edge that he gives the team. Obviously, one of the big questions going into the year is, when will Jaren Jackson Jr. return? And I think that will really allow this team to reach its fullest potential. And everything we've heard in camp is that he's progressing forward in a good way, that no setbacks have happened during camp in the preseason. And so that original timeline of 4 to 6 months, does that land him closer to November or closer to January? That's what we're waiting to see now. But the pieces are certainly in place for the Grizzlies to make a lot of noise this year, and this time they won't really be taking anyone by surprise.
You know, we have the unquestioned superstar, I think you mentioned, and everybody knows about Ja. Ja has proven himself not only here but through the entire league. Everybody knows this kid is special. He really is special, and he's the leader of this team. But he is the leader of the team, Jessica, but he doesn't really act like he's just one of the guys. I mean, he's one of the guys. This team has just an amazing affinity for each other. They care about each other, and I mean, there is no one and above. It's just an entire team unit. And your coach, I heard him say that. He said, man, what you saw in terms of that open practice the other day is really how this team is, and that's really fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing that's so cool about having a young leader like John Morant, is that he had those humble beginnings. Like, this was a kid who was always fighting against the odds, going to Murray State, barely getting to Murray State, and then going on to be the number 2 pick in the NBA draft. And now look at him. Like, we always knew he was good, but he's been tremendous. He's 101 of his size and his ability to get to the rim. And as he's already knocked off, a handful of accolades within his very young NBA career, you could say going into this season, like, sure, he's probably chasing after being in contention for MVP, but he'll never say that. He'll say his number 1 goal is to go win a championship with his team and the entirety of the team. Yeah. And even just little things, like Trey Draper tweeted out a video yesterday from that open practice where John Morant, instead of just leaving, bouncing, it's a Sunday, he could have gone and done other things. He went out of his way to go through the garage to meet fans, to surprise fans and take pictures with them and sign autographs. And that's really who he is. Like, he doesn't just do that for the show. He does it because he cares. And Memphis is so lucky to have someone who is so invested in the city. He's all about the city. He fits in perfectly. And he also just happens to be one of the most exciting young players in the league.
Well, I tell you what, looking forward to a great season. I mean, they got the city was on fire last year with our Grizz, and we're looking forward to the same thing this year. And Jessica, if you don't mind, at some particular point in time during the season, I'd like to have you back. To give us an update on where things stand. Now that I have you in my stable, now I'm not letting you go. Now you're gonna be a part of the Real Talk Memphis family here. Okay.
Deal. Well, I think it's going to be a really fun season ahead here in Memphis, so there will be plenty to talk about. And for everyone listening to over at Grind City Media, 8 to 9:30 a.m. every weekday morning, we've got Rise and Grind. We talk about the Grizzlies and everything, so stay tapped in there, and I'll for sure come back and catch up with you during the season.
Absolutely, that. Jessica Benson, thank you so much for taking some time, and I'll talk to you down the road, okay?
Cool deal. Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye. Well, what a great show, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. We kind of ran the gamut of I don't know, from one end of the rainbow to the other. We finished up strong with the Grizzlies, and as Cell plays us out, I'm sorry, I had a little brain thing there. As Cell plays us out, thank you for checking us out tonight. Really appreciate you, tuning in, watching, supporting the broadcast, and all of the things that go along with that. A lot of fun to do this. On a weekly basis. This is the best time, the most enjoyable time for me each and every week to spend this hour, 6 to 7 p.m. with you. As I said, I know a lot of you are on fall break, but hopefully you get a chance to check us out. If you did check us out live tonight, we are a podcast, so when the show is posted tomorrow, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. So in the meantime, in between time, safety first. Okay, be safe out there. Kind of watch out for yourself, watch out for each other. We're all out and about. We're doing our thing. We're living our lives. But we need to be safe, okay? We need to kind of watch out for the other person, see what's going on out on these streets, and make sure that we're all safe. For those of you who aren't on vacation this week because the kids are out, I hope you have a great time. I hope you enjoy yourself wherever you are and whatever it is you are doing. And for all of us here at the Real Talk Memphis, for Nicole, for Lola, and for Sel, I'm Chip, and I'm out. Have a great week. We'll talk soon.